How sports has dominated the social media space this year. For the very first time, a sporting hashtag is the #1 trending topic of the entire year. We're talking about 2016, Rio 2016. Rio 2016 is the #1 trending topic of the year, while the India-Pakistan match is the #2 in the World T20. At #3 is World T20 itself, the T20 World Cup in other words, and India versus Australia from the World T20 again featuring there. Even PV Sindhu right up there in the 8th position for her Olympic performance. So all in all, we had 7 of the top 10 most trended hashtags came from the world of sport. And that's just the start of what numbers there are to show how sports dominated the social media space. Prime Minister Modi's demonetization scheme was obviously the #1 thing that was a big moment on social media. But after that, you have 3 sporting moments. Women at Rio 2016, not just PV Sindhu, who gave us a silver, but also Sakshi Malik, who gave us a bronze in wrestling, and even Deepa Karmakar in gymnastics, Deepa Malik also in the Paralympics in Rio. After that, India at the World T20. They were all very big moments. Now, what was the most retweeted trending tweet on the social media space this year? It's called the golden tweet. It too came from a sports person. Who else but Virat Kohli when he stood up for Anushka. This was just after the World Cup win against Australia that took India to the semis, and Virat had scored 82 not out of 51. The night itself, at 1:59 a.m., Virat tweeted this tweet. "Shame on people for trolling Anushka Sharma non-stop. Have some compassion. She has always only given me positivity." This tweet had 12,000 replies. It was retweeted close to 40,000 times, and it was liked more than 107,000 times. And to cap it off, who were the biggest new influential accounts in 2016? Well, you had actor Kamal Hassan at #1, Sakshi Malik, who joined Twitter right after becoming the first Indian female wrestler to win a medal at the Olympics, and Deepa Karmakar, who was the first Indian gymnast to qualify for the final of a gymnastic event at the Olympics and finished an agonizingly close 4th. Now, talking about Sakshi, joining me is a very exciting panel. Sakshi Malik joins us on the phone line. Akash, he needs no introduction. He is very active on social media. Anish Madani also joining us. He is the head of sports partnerships, Twitter India, from whom we've got these numbers, these stats, and Prem Panikar, who has been a cricket journalist forever and has had very senior roles at Yahoo and Rediff. But first, to Sakshi. साक्षी, पहली बार ट्विटर पे एक स्पोर्ट्स इवेंट मोस्ट ट्रेंडेड हैशटैग रहा है. हम रियो की बात कर रहे हैं. आपको ये क्या कहता है?
संदेश तो कुछ नहीं है. स्पोर्ट्स के लिए बहुत अच्छी बात है कि सब लोग स्पोर्ट्स को इतना लाइक कर रहे हैं, इतना पसंद कर रहे हैं. ट्विटर पे भी सब इतना मतलब फॉलो कर रहे हैं, तो इससे स्पोर्ट्स बहुत ऊपर तक जाएगा.
आप अपनी कहानी में बताइए कि आप रियो में मेडल जीतने के बाद आप ट्विटर पे आए क्यों, और आपकी जिंदगी कैसे बदली उसके बाद?
जी, लाइफ बहुत चेंज हुई है. सब लोग इतना प्यार दे रहे हैं. जैसे मैंने बताया, ट्विटर पे सब इतना कांग्रेचुलेट कर रहे थे, विशेस भेज रहे थे, और बहुत बहुत लाइफ चेंज हुई है. सब स्पेशल फील करवाते हैं.
सोशल मीडिया पे एक और बात दिखी रियो के दौरान. विमेन एथलीट्स के बारे में बहुत बातचीत हुई, बहुत तारीफ और प्रशंसा मिली. आप, पी सिंधु, दीपा कर्माकर, आपको क्या लगता है इसके बारे में? क्या ये दिखाता है कि अब वो जो पहले की एक सोच थी कि लड़की को खेल में मत डालो, अब वो सोच खत्म हो रही है क्या?
बिल्कुल सर, वो सोच अभी बहुत ज्यादा खत्म हो गई है. अब की बार जैसे सिर्फ 2 मेडल्स वो भी लड़कियों ने दिए हैं, तो इससे लोगों की बहुत सोच बदली है कि लड़कियां भी ओलंपिक से मेडल दे सकती हैं, बल्कि कंपेयर टू बॉयज ज्यादा कर सकते हैं. मतलब कम नहीं मानना चाहिए लड़कियों को. तो ये सोच धीरे धीरे बहुत चेंज हो गई है.
बिल्कुल, आमिर खान की पिक्चर दंगल भी यही दिखाएगी. साल की गोल्डन ट्वीट की अगर बात करें, विराट कोहली से आई ये ट्वीट सबसे ज्यादा बार रीट्वीट हुई. जब ट्वीट में उन्होंने कहा कि अनुष्का को कैसे ब्लेम कर सकते हो मेरी परफॉर्मेंस के लिए, क्या आपको लगता है कि क्योंकि एक स्पोर्टिंग सुपरस्टार ने ये बात छेड़ी जो हम सब की लाइफ में कभी ना कभी आई होगी, ट्रीटमेंट ऑफ वुमेन की बात कर रहे हैं, स्पोर्ट्स पर्संस का सोसाइटी पे इन्फ्लुएंस बहुत बढ़ गया है अब?
एक्चुअली ये किसी पे हम ब्लेम नहीं कर सकते अपनी परफॉर्मेंस का. वो हमें खुद का, हमारा अपना ध्यान रखना होता है, गेम का भी. अगर मेरी कोई कहीं परफॉर्मेंस डाउन हो रही है तो ये मैं किसी पे ब्लेम नहीं कर सकती हूँ कि मेरी परफॉर्मेंस उसकी वजह से, या कोई भी ब्लेम नहीं कर सकता है. तो ये एक स्पोर्ट्स पर्सन की इंडिविजुअल अपने ऊपर बात होती है.
सोशल मीडिया और स्पोर्ट्स की जो रिलेशनशिप है फ्यूचर में आपको कितना इंपॉर्टेंट लगती है ये?
जी बिल्कुल, बहुत इम्पोर्टेंट है, क्योंकि अगर सोशल मीडिया होगा तो मतलब जल्दी से जल्दी अपडेट्स मिलेंगी और लोगों को जानकारी होगी। जैसे मेरे मेडल की भी जानकारी सोशल मीडिया से हुई थी, पूरी जगह एकदम से फैल गया था। ये सब इतने और सोशल मीडिया से ही मुझे इतने सारे कॉन्ग्रेचुलेशंस आ रहे थे, तो ये बहुत बड़ा रोल है सोशल मीडिया का एक स्पोर्ट्स पे।
Sakshi Malik, thank you so much for speaking to us. I still have with me Akash and Prem and Anish joining us right now. Akash, I want to come to you first because I know you're very happy for the first time. It's not cricket that's trending up top. It's actually Rio 2016. So can you now say, and can we actually say that we are now not just a one-sport nation?
It pleases me, no, and Mitoz, I'm very, very delighted that we're not just talking about cricket. I have a daughter who's going to be 4 very soon, and trust me, talks about Deepa Karmakar. He wants to jump like her. She talks about PV Sindhu, asks me to behave like or act like Saina Nehwal, and starts playing badminton with me. She talks about Sakshi Malik and makes a wrestling mat anywhere that she finds in home. A mattress is actually a wrestling mat for her. So this is what we actually want. We want our kids to just play, enjoy. It doesn't matter. Gender, when it comes to sports, should not matter at all. And this is just a beginning. I hope it's just the tip of the iceberg. We'll have many more women athletes making India and us proud.
All right, let's go across to Mr. Panikar. Sir, do you really feel, based on what we have reflected through these trends and the increasing presence of sports on social media, that there is a paradigm shift and we are actually now seeing what's reflective on social media happening on the ground realistically?
Well, I think it's pretty much a sign of the times because, the two things that we can talk about, one is politics and current affairs. And that has gotten so polarized that, people have formed small groups to talk among themselves, to talk among like-minded people. The only adhesive topic that we have, a larger topic that everybody can get together, irrespective of ideology, is sport. So I'm not surprised that sport is trending. Like Akash said, I'm both surprised and incredibly happy that it's not cricket. That's right at the top. Do I see this continuing? Yeah, I think so, because again, Akash made the point of young kids, wanting to become a Sakshi Malik. Sakshi has been in the news since 2010, I think. Right. That was Doha and the Junior Worlds. And where did we ever read about it? There was a small snippet in a corner of the paper, if you were a fanatic enough to read it. Yeah. Today I know exactly where Sakshi is, what she's training and all of that. So yeah, it's the first thing for sports adoption is propagation, right?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. The thing is that we probably wouldn't have talked about Sakshi if the Prime Minister wouldn't have tweeted something, in context with her, and that's how it works, actually. Anish still with us. Anish, just explain to us how you got these numbers, golden tweet, how did you name it and all of that, and also just Rio 2016, the moments, how did you come up with this analysis?
Thanks for having me, Amitoj. 2016 has been a breakthrough year for sports, and it's not surprising that 7 out of 10 of the top trending hashtags are from sports. It's a collection of the Olympics and India's matches at the World T20. As far as Rio 2016 is concerned, it was the most tweeted about hashtag this year in India. And what was heartwarming to see about that is that actually there were more than 2 million tweets about Deepa, Sakshi and Sindhu, right, which was more than India, Pakistan and India, Australia combined. So there's definitely a lot of conversation beyond cricket.
I actually want to take that to Akash, more than India, Pakistan. I can't believe what I'm hearing. This is so interesting. But also, Akash, just talk us through how sports is really made. It's a live thing that happens, and you can also tweet live. It's like a conversation you can have with thousands and millions of people on Twitter. You do that a lot. So do you think it's because sports is just shaped in the way it is, that a 6 is hit, a 4 is hit, a goal is scored, that it allows Twitter then to make it that kind of space, or even Facebook, that it can be trended so often other than in comparison to, let's say, politics or something else?
I think you can get the pulse very quickly, because if you just ride that wave, then there sky is the limit, because it's happening there and then. And when you're tweeting about it, you're Facebooking about it, you're actually becoming a part of that entire event. And the moment that happens, it catches fire. It's like jungle catching fire, and then there is no stopping, no looking back. I think time is critical. If it's live, you can actually, if you start talking about it that point in time, it suddenly catches and captures the imagination, and then it just goes berserk. But yes, you can still congratulate people later, and it can stay there for a while. But just live element is very, very important.
And I'm sure Akash gets a lot of questioning and a lot of trolls also on Twitter. I've seen them myself, but we'll talk about that on a separate day. Mr. Panikkar, I want to talk to you about something else, because we have spoken about a number of issues. Specifically, if you can talk to us about how this is just Twitter that we are reflecting. We don't have the numbers for either Facebook, Instagram, or any other social media space. Being a part of the internet, in a sense, a very, very senior member with both Rediff and Yahoo, how do you see the future? And also talk to us about, do you really think this is reflective of how sports is, becoming not just a talking point in our drawing room, but also it could also be possibly because you had the Rio 2016 games this year, you also had the World T20. Is this a coincidence?
Well, I mean, I don't know if, that I think is just a matter of scheduling. But from the point of, to the question that you were asking about what it means for the world at large, that news and following of sport is moved from, say, the newsroom onto the social media space, I think it's a brilliant thing. You know how it is, you're a journalist, you follow sport within that very close, tight circle, and your view is limited to what you see. I love watching cricket or in fact any sport on Twitter, because there are so many people with so many different perspectives. There is Akash who will give me a balanced view, and then there's somebody who will make fun of what's going on, and it kind of enhances the entire experience of watching. Look, we're tribal. We love to gather together in gangs and talk about whatever we're passionate about. And I think social media, particularly Twitter and Facebook, for the immediacy is creating that tribal effect for us. And for the first time, I'm actually enjoying watching and even reporting on sport. To the accompaniment of the surround sound of
social
fans.
Media. Yeah, actually. Now, Anish, specifically, if I can ask you, let's just talk about specifically. I want to talk about one thing which is very interesting. The timing of what you do, and that's what Twitter is all about. Sakshi Malik, she wins the medal. You guys are part of bringing her onto Twitter right after she wins the medal. That really happens, and then she has this flurry of tweets on her Twitter account. She has followers. You, in a sense, make it happen at playing the devil's advocate too.
Well, I think what we do is we partner with athletes, with federations, with broadcasters, and we're helping them build the community, right? I think what we've noticed this year, for instance, is Sakshi already has more than 125,000 followers that she can tweet out to and stay in touch with over the next few years of her career. And similarly, PV Sindhu, we've seen her following grow about 30 times since she won the silver medal. And someone like Akash, for instance, who uses the Twitter video Q&A app to do a series called #AskTheInsider, where fans can tweet video questions to him. And so there are many ways in which we partner with our partners in the industry, and that's just about helping them make the most of the platform.
All right, let's talk about Virat Kohli's golden tweet. Akash, I have to ask you about this because I believe you do know the inside story behind why it was tweeted at 1:58 a.m. after that match in which we beat Australia. I don't want to get into that, but it is very reflective of how people are now viewing sports persons, and specifically the idea of respecting women. And when it comes from a sports person like Virat Kohli, then it says a lot, doesn't it?
It does. It's not just because he was perhaps dating Anushka at that point in time, and obviously you feel very protective about your loved ones, and you don't want to actually any harm come their way. But it's not just about her. It's not just about Virat Kohli. It's about everybody respecting women, and people will stand up. Amitos, it's just that people used to stand up earlier as well, but there was no platform.
But did they do it enough? Did they do it enough?
See, social media has given them voice and an immediacy. That you actually want to say something, you are out there and there is an audience, ready-made audience. You don't have to come to a news.
How do you deal with trolls then?
Just laugh at it. Seriously, it's the part of the package, and actually play around a little. I actually like doing that very often. At times, name them, shame them. It's not a bad thing to do, but indulge. I think don't let trolls come in the way, because it will otherwise just ruin the entire experience. The experience itself is very enriching.
Mr. Panikkar, briefly, just your final closing comments.
About trolls, about Anushka and Virat, or
Anushka, Virat, trolls, whatever you think is the highlight of the discussion.
Okay. As far as that, yeah, I love the fact that Virat stood up. I'm not worried about the time. Yeah, it was late at night and stuff like that. I think that, you know, people do need. You asked about trolls, and Akash
Right.
made a remark about, yeah. I think the thing is, half of the reason why this is happening is when somebody gets trolled, we all step back and just watch the fun. I think people need to stand up for other people. I think people need to stand up for decency and you know,
Anish,
good
is that
manners
happening?
and grace.
Yes.
Okay,
As you can
thank
see
you.
with Virat's
All right,
example.
that's what I wanted to hear. Thanks so much for that. Akash, Mr. Panika, Anish, we're completely out of time. It's been a brilliant discussion, very different for me at least, talking about the social media space and the relationship with sport. It's been wonderful. Thank you to all our guests and thank you for watching.